These days, most people should probably buy an all-road bike. Let me explain why. So, as early as a few years ago, my advice to people who wanted to get a bike was just get a gravel bike. You can do road rides on it and you can do off-road rides on it as well. But these days, the gravel bikes, especially the ones that I feel like are going to be coming out in the next year or two, they're probably going to have a lot more in common to hardtail XC mountain bikes than road bikes, than gravel bikes. So just to give you an idea, there's a couple of new bikes that are out. Well, the new Canyon Grizzle, the Giant Revolt X. So these are a few examples of bikes that have more than 50 mm clearance. In some cases, 54 mm clearance. I believe that's like 2 inches. And those are the stated clearances. I bet you if you do put an actual tire in there, I bet you some of those frames can fit a 2.2 inch tire. And that is a lot of rubber for the types of rides that a lot of people are doing. I understand why these bikes are coming out, especially since the most popular gravel race in the world is Unbound. And it's becoming clear that in Unbound particularly, where it's mostly flat and it's a lot of really big chunky rocks in the off-road sections, it's clear that bigger tires in Unbound is faster. But at least for me, and I suspect a lot of people all over the world are not riding hundreds of kilometers of chunky, sharp off-road bits. Now, these bikes are totally fine, but if you want a light, nimble road bike that can also do off-road, these might be too much bike for the purpose. Kind of the same argument of why I think most people should get a gravel bike instead of a mountain bike. I'm just saying that these days, gravel bikes, the new ones that are going to come out, are going to resemble more mountain bikes than the old gravel bikes of yore. Old gravel bikes of yore. So a few weeks ago, I went on a bike ride with my friends. There was a gravel bike, there was an all-road bike, that was my bike, and there was a mountain bike. And this is the type of riding that we typically do where I am from here in Cebu, Philippines. And I suspect typical of a lot of people's riding as well. If I'm not mistaken, it's just dirt here lang. And then it's cement na up. I think, huh? It's gonna be very steep though. No, that's a road. That's a road. Pero that's very steep. Hey! Layo ba kayo ni resta sa top sa katong lataban nga sari-sari? Katong view, nindot kayong view ba eh? We'll rest up there.
Thank God for 51T.
Shit.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Here's it.
Where is it?
Yeah, that's why I want to try what's this? So if your routes have fast road sections, crappy road sections where you slow down a little bit, steep sections, and the occasional off-road bit, pretty similar to the video that I just showed you, then you might want to consider an all-road bike. The tricky thing here is that it's kind of difficult to define bikes these days. There's a lot of overlap. A couple of years ago, most gravel bikes had a clearance of 700 by 40, some 700 by 42, and a lot of the ones that are out now are at 700 by 50, and as already mentioned, they're gonna reach 700 by 54. So the tire clearances are getting much bigger, and they'll still look like a road bike. A lot of the gravel bikes look like all road bikes. So bike definitions can be tricky, and even amongst my friends, we tend to disagree. So Ens, what kind of bike do you have?
Gravel bike?
You consider it a gravel bike?
Yes.
You don't consider it a all-road bike?
Depends on the tires.
So right now you have 700 by 40 Velocitas, Maxxis Velocitas. What do you think it is right now?
All road. Basically all road, but the geometry is gravel. Basically cyclocross.
Okay. I actually disagree with Enzo, but no, but I think that's the interesting thing with bikes. Aside from pure road bikes or pure, let's say downhill bikes or something like that, when you're in the middle of the spectrum, there's very little consensus of what it is. Right? I consider your bike more like an all-road bike, maybe a cyclocross bike in a way actually. Okay, it's kind of aggressive in siya geometry, right?
Yeah.
It is?
More on relaxed, not aggressive.
You think it's more relaxed? Oh,
Yours is more aggressive.
you think so?
Yeah.
Because of the long stem?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I feel like there's no consensus. So, what is an all-road bike? The geometry is very similar to a regular road bike. The stack might be a little bit higher, the reach might be a little bit closer, but it will still, or it should still feel like a regular road bike. And that's probably where there's going to be a subtle difference in terms of the pure gravel bikes to an all-road bike. I suspect the pure gravel bike will feel better going on a straight line as opposed to an all-road bike, which can dance a little bit more. But the geometry, I'm sure there's going to be a gravel bike that will have very similar geometry to a all-road bike as well. So again, definitions may be murky. Sometimes an all-road bike might even have a little bit of suspension. Take a look at some of the specialized Roubaix with their suspension somewhere in the stem area, stuff like that. There's a little bit of intersection in terms of suspension. Generally right now, gravel suspension is about 30 to 40 mm. Those stem suspensions are probably closer to like 10 or 15. I'm not even sure. I gotta check that. But much less than typical gravel suspension. But the key difference will be in tire clearance. For me, I think that the all-road bikes should have clearance for at least 700 by 40. The ones that are out now inch towards that. There's a lot of all-road bikes that do 700 by 35 to 700 by 38. I suspect in the next year or two, there's going to be a lot of all-road bikes hitting the 40 mm mark, which is funny because as early as 3 or 4 years ago, 700 by 40 would have been considered gravel. Modern gravel bikes, as I said, they're probably going to reach clearances of 2.2 inch tires, which is a lot. So I think the definitions was going to be so much clearer once you start looking at tire clearance amongst these different bikes. And we can even compare the all-road bike to the mountain bike. There's a lot of mountain bikes that are set up for road riding, just like the one in the video. This is Luke's bike. So what do you consider your bike? What is your bike?
My bike?
Yeah.
My bike? Right, extension na siya sa akong life yun basically.
No. Okay. Not philosophically.
Okay.
What is your like?
Sabi-
What?
sabi-
Okay. Like my bike, I find like that my bike is an all-road bike for me.
Oh,
Okay, what kind of bike do you have?
Ay,
No, not a philosophical
Sige,
question.
Balik.
Go.
Take two.
No, gamito gyapon ako.
Good. My bike, I think this is basically this is an XC. But I can still take this on road kay don't say an 3080. Pero more on trail yun siya.
So it's an XC trail bike, but
Yeah.
you set it up in such a way where it really does a lot of road rides.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah. I mean, like, because it's lightweight and I can slap it with slick tires if I want it to be a road flat bar bike.
In the end of the video, I will talk about what bike I would buy, but before we get to that, allow me to talk about this video's sponsor, Curve Coffee Collaborators. Christmas is coming, and every year my wife asks me what I want for Christmas, and the answer is always a carbon gravel wheel set. But since this is a ridiculously expensive Christmas gift, my other go-to ask is coffee beans. Coffee beans are a perfect non-ridiculous gift for the coffee lover or for someone who simply wants to fuel their early morning bike rides. With that in mind, take a look at the many offerings from Curve Coffee Collaborators. They are serious about promoting high-quality Philippine coffee beans like this PCQC award-winning beans from Ray John Basco, named after the farmer, of course, that's him. They also have incredible varieties from all over the world like Colombia. Whether you're a coffee lover who likes filter coffee or espresso, Curve has the beans for you. Take a look at their website, curve.coffee, to see what they have to offer. Thanks for sponsoring the vlog, Curve. So again, here's the case for the all-road bike. The all-road bike is faster in most of the roads that most people do. It'll be faster than a gravel bike on crappy cemented roads. It'll be faster than a gravel bike on cemented roads. It'll be slower in the off-road bit, but I think you'll live with that. The all-road bike tends to be lighter than the equivalent gravel bike, and here in Cebu that's a big deal because Cebu there's a lot of climbing. So lighter bike helps. But in all honesty, if I had to buy a new bike right now, for me personally, I'd still get a gravel bike. I enjoy going fast off-road too much to slow down with a dainty all-road bike. I gotta say, man, going fast off-road is fun, and bigger tires makes it fun. Even though I'm not gonna enjoy chunky tires on the steep climbs, and I'm also not gonna enjoy the chunky tires on the road, but if I had to choose, I'd still get a gravel bike, especially with the bigger tire clearances. But for most people, all road bike should do. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you don't not kill me.